The Big Bad. Final boss of the current build. This guy is actually one of the easiest bosses in the game. Not even joking. He's a little annoying, but as far as difficulty goes, he's really not complicated. I am going to kind of just skip the first phase. There's not much going on here. He will spawn some crystals. If he does, run and hit them. Like, this is the actual fight. Oh, the center pedestal will come up and shoot some lasers. They hurt a little bit, but it's easy to get into this phase. This is where you're going to spend most of the fight, and it's not going to be that long of a fight, honestly. I'm going to let him actually use his mechanics, though. That's a big AoE, fire damage, don't get hit by it. It's got a long windup. You have plenty of time to walk out of it. It's a smash, physical, small AoE, plenty of time to get out of it. This one is dangerous. He's pretty quick while doing it. If you've got to, just roll through it, and you'll take a little bit of damage. I can outrun it by I'm slowing him down a lot. You have to remember that. But alternatively, just get behind the laser port fires and run through it. But he really is kind of an easy boss. At 50%, he'll have a couple mechanics that'll add a little bit of difficulty to it. Speed that up. Alright, so this is one of his phases. That thing's going to call down attacks. Oh, this is another one. We're getting two phases at once. Keep running. You'll have to roll if you're not fast. I'm very fast, so I can just run out of it. But when it's about to drop, it'll do some smoke and make a sound effect signaling that it's about to fall. Just go ahead and get to the edge and roll. Physical damage, it hurts. It's not that bad. This one is the one that can kill you. It's very easy to dodge, obviously. But just be aware that that laser does a pretty solid hit. And it's going to be going off while the boss is still doing its own thing. So, like, if I was slower, I'd need to roll as soon as it stops and does that. I don't even know what to call that sound effect. But it's kind of terrible to have the boss against the wall like this. This is the worst placement you can end up with. But, you know, be a little more strategic about where you lure the boss when it's doing the call down attack, where it floats up and then drops back down to the ground. That's another dangerous attack. Fire and ice, split half and half. It has a wind up for it, but it doesn't have any kind of visual. So yeah, that's the timing on that. If you have 30% movement speed shoes, maybe some movement speed in the tree, you can just outrun it. Just keep moving. I've never seen this one. Just keep moving is the response to it, but hey, an attack I've never seen. And that's the full fight, I believe. Like, you just got nothing else but repeats. Or no, he does have one more attack. See, that does hurt. Like, if you need to, roll through it. If you can't outrun it. Alright, this is the other attack. You have to stay inside the ring or you will get hit by the lightning, obviously. And with that, that's all of the attacks. And I can just go ahead and end the fight. Could have done that at any point. Again, at this point in the game, you're going to be very similar to my strength level. So you don't have to do a long fight like that unless you're playing a bad warrior build. And I'm not saying your build is bad, I'm just saying the warrior is underpowered right now. Outside of that, pretty easy fight. I mean, I could show you the first phase a little more. It's really not threatening. Like his first phase, I don't think it's killed anyone that I know. I don't think I've ever seen a player in chat say they died to it. I have seen very few people die to the second phase. They get caught by that laser attack, thinking, you know, they're tanking everything else from the boss, and then, oh, that laser can't be that bad, and then it pops them and they just get one shot. It does hit very hard. Be aware of that. But yeah, that's the final boss of the game. There's a few that I need to cover, and I need to do Act 1. I also skipped Kopek because you can't access Kopek. Like, once you fought Kopek once, you can't go back. They've broken the map system, and I can't warp to the dungeon. If I try to go to the dungeon, it takes me to the post-game. There's just no way to go there other than making a whole new character and walking there, or maybe someone giving me a warp to get in there, which I don't have anyone do that right now. No one asks for a warp for Kopek. I also ignored the Molten Vault. I don't have the portal for it. There's no reason to do it for now. They need to boost the reward. It needs to give you something relevant. Honestly, the Molten Vault, for how risky it is, should give you like a forced semi-quality weapon. Like a weapon that'll come out with flat physical damage and 100% attack or so. Like Mineral, and then have a chance to be better. And then have random lines for the rest, obviously. But like, it needs to give you something worth the risk. For that boss fight, I think you get a trinket. I don't even remember. I don't do it. One, you have to go through the River Hag map to get there. Just the bubbles from the River Hags will one-shot you. You don't want to be there. And then even if you have a warp to the map, someone just gives you a warp to the portal. The boss fight isn't hard, but the lava in the arena will kill you. Like, it will, I don't care how tanky you are, it will liquidate you. And yeah, there's a phase where he throws waves of lava at you, and they're not as strong as the lava that he's standing in, but they still do eat through your shield and put you in a place that you don't want to be for a reward that's pointless. Like, they just, I get that they're doing 2 stat points per zone, and it makes sense for the monkey to give you the other stat points so you get them early on in the map, or in the act, and then you get the other ones at the end. I feel like he should probably give stat points. If he either that or give a very good weapon, like guaranteed weapon. It makes sense that the Forge Master would give you something that has been forged. But as it is, don't do it. Skip it. If you're in hardcore, if you're in softcore, go ahead, just throw some bodies at it. It's not like you're gonna die for sure, it's more risk than it's worth. That's all I can say about that. I'll go and do it eventually. I'm not gonna go out of my way to do it for this guy because my recommendation is don't do the fight. And I also skipped. I need to go back and redo the Act 2 video. I will get to that later. The video quality went to shit for some reason. Well, I know what the reason is. He has a lot of effects on the screen, and apparently it's kind of taken up all my system's resources to just run the game. Which I can solve that. I can just dedicate a portion of my resources to my recording software, but I'll need to go back and do that. And then I'm going to do all of Act 1 on a fresh character, since you'll basically have the same exact experience as a fresh character for me. So that's going to be the best way to do those guides. For all the later acts, you're going to start buying gear. You're probably going to be much better off than my fresh character. So a guide from my fresh character perspective is not going to be useful. So I'll stop that after Act 1. But that should do it for the bosses. If there's any other bosses I've missed, I don't think there is, but just go ahead and leave a comment, tell me which one, and I'll go and show you the mechanics. There's some post-game bosses that are only in the maps, but one, you can't repeat them, and two, you have no idea where they're going to be in the map, because it's all random, so I can't really show any post-game bosses. Post-game exclusives are post-game exclusive. If people want to see a specific post-game boss, I can probably go and do it in softcore, because I've done most of them in hardcore, so in softcore I haven't done any of the bosses, and I do have a character that's near max there. Most of my characters that die get deleted, but I have one that I kept around because I didn't want to remake it. But that should do it. That's the end of my Act 3 boss guide. They will be doing, from what I've heard, this is player talk, we are going to get 6 proper acts rather than the cruel acts. These are going to be replaced with Act 4, 5, and 6. So we will get more bosses later on. When they get released, I'll go ahead and make more videos and cover each of them. I highly doubt it, but apparently I need to get to 1,000 subs to be able to put timestamps in videos. Until that's an option, I'm just going to make separate videos for each of them and put them in a playlist. But that should do it. Later.